I think there was 2 moments in this pay-per-view that will change AEW forever.
This pay-per-view was all about me.
It was all about you.
All about me. My dream matches, my people winning. That's what we do.
So did you like it? What up, lads? This is the all-in review for AEW, their biggest pay-per-view of the year, their WrestleMania. It was a stacked show.
Yes, with all my people.
It was absolutely the pay-per-view for Marisa.
Jack Perry killed it.
Jack Perry was on there. Mercedes Britt was on there. We'll talk about that match. This was undoubtedly your show.
I think it was possibly my pay-per-view of the year. For me. I said it was SummerSlam, mostly because I got everything I wanted and more out of SummerSlam. But this may have topped it. I have to like really analyze and think about it, which I don't do, so it probably won't get done. But like I loved this pay-per-view.
I think a lot of people, a lot of AEW fans really have this as like their pay-per-view of the year, or at least pretty close. I think a lot of people that don't watch AEW that much were really happy with the amount of storytelling that they did.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know if it's in my top 3. Maybe it might be. It's up there. That's why.
What else is in there?
It's hard for me to say pay-per-view of the year because I love so much, but I think Revolution is just my number 1. Sting's whole retirement just beautiful.
Yeah. Darby
I
was there.
really love Dynasty. Dynasty in terms of in-ring quality, I don't think there probably hasn't been a better show. Revolution is right up there with it, but you also get the Sting retirement.
I am going to be so real.
Mm-hmm.
Don't remember what was on Dynasty besides Swerve winning.
You had Pac Okada, you had Swerve and Joe, and you had Danielson Ospreay. Probably match of the year.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Mine are still better, but that's fine.
we can talk about All In. On 0 Hour, there was Ishii and Willow winning. There was a 16-man tag that like Dante's team ended up winning. The Texas Avengers won, which is what I'm calling it. The most controversial match, arguably, of this entire show.
It has nothing to do with the wrestling.
Has nothing to do with wrestling. It was the fact that Sammy Guevara and Brian Cage both wore Wolverine outfits, and the internet lost their minds.
The internet was so mad. They were like, Brian Cage owns the Wolverine thing. Like, you can't own Wolverine.
I get it, but he's
one,
the Swolverine.
But he's the what?
He's the Swolverine. That's his name. Like, that's his nickname.
That
it's
has
the
never
Swolverine.
been a thing.
That has been a thing for 10 years, at least.
You're done.
You just don't pay attention to Brian Cage.
No one does.
I paid attention.
Oh, no, that's not fair. That's not fair. To be fair and unbiased, I do pay attention to him when he's wrestling Sammy, and I care.
Right. So that one time.
Yeah.
And then we got the return of Jamie Hayter, which was such a big moment that I'm so surprised that they put it on the 0 Hour.
Me personally,
Yeah, you're the only one
I think she
that
belongs there.
You're the only one that hates on Jamie
but I
Hayter.
am the only one.
Yeah.
So, because of what everybody else seems to delusionally think of her, I was surprised.
The biggest pre-show pop of all time.
Probably.
But no, that was amazing. And then we get into the actual card. And the first thing, one of the biggest things about this show, tiny ladder. Tiny ladder. The
That's not
trios
what you were
championship
supposed to
match
say.
had a lot of tiny ladders, and I don't understand
That is
why.
not what you were supposed to say about that match.
What was I supposed to say?
Okay, so the most important thing about this first match was that my little chipmunk, my Wheeler Yuta, the Wheeler Yuta,
No one says the Wheeler.
a champion,
He's not Ohio State.
a champion, as he deserves. Okay, and congrats to the other two as well.
This was a good match.
I already forgot who else was in there.
Tiny ladders. Patriarchy, House of Black,
No one cares.
and Bang Bang
I
Gang.
half care. Oh, I do love a Bang Bang Gang. I'm very sad that we
Don't say
had.
that to the internet. Don't say that to the internet.
I'm very sad that we got no Jay White back, though.
Yeah.
I was hopeful for that. I've really become a big Jay White fan in the last year.
Yeah, you
last
have.
12 months. I've become
Despite
a big
him being
Jay
the
White fan.
spittiest wrestler
It's
in
so
professional
disgusting.
Yeah.
And I just have to just don't look at
This
it.
one, it makes sense because sometimes I'll see a wrestler like Eddie Kingston that I thought that you would absolutely love, and then you don't love him. But Jay White was one that I was like, I know you're gonna love.
Yeah.
Just because of how much of like just kind of a.
He's like a smart,
cunning,
sarcastic
a
jackass.
sarcastic asshole. Yeah.
It's great. It's great. It's iconic.
But
speaking of iconic,
Pac, Wheeler Yuta, and Claudio did.
Wheeler Yuta is
got
iconic.
Got his
that's fair.
first
That's not where I
ever-
was going, but that's fair too.
He got his first ever
Yes.
AEW championship. Congrats to Will or Yuta.
And the other two, it's fine.
Right, Pac and Claudio.
But them, sure. So moving on with more iconicness.
Oh yeah.
Iconic.
No, this is iconic. This is iconic.
Well, what's the word? Like more iconic.
I don't know what you're trying to say, and I have an English degree.
Like iconicness.
You
like
guys
more.
can do whatever you want.
Okay.
School doesn't mean you're smart.
Anyway, Mariah May.
Mariah May.
Don't let Harry hear
we
us.
have to
Oh my God.
watch out. If you guys saw the predictions,
He's
our dog
obsessed.
is obsessed with her. And if we say her name, he freaks out.
Yeah, he actually jumped up on the couch for her match.
I swear to God, we don't have Nigel McGuinness in the room.
We don't. But actually, Harry and him might be besties.
They are.
But she beat Toni Storm.
Beat Toni Storm. Got to give Toni Storm her flowers.
Yeah, which they did at the end of the match. They gave her a standing ovation, which I thought was really nice.
Yeah, arguably the best character I think I've seen in the last decade. Her and Broken Matt Hardy have been some of the most enjoyable transformations and character shifts I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that the story's done.
No, I think they're going to keep going, which I'm excited for.
Yeah.
But I think it's also crazy how much Mariah has grown.
Yeah.
In, like, how long has she been there? Like a year, maybe?
No, 6 months.
Not even?
6 months.
Damn, it's only been 6 months?
Yeah. Or so, yeah.
But it's just crazy how much she has, like, grown, and she's, like, now, like, she's got to be top 10 in the company. Like, men or women or any gender.
Easily.
Like, she's got to be top 10.
Yeah.
But I think the match, it gave what it was supposed to give.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It was definitely serving.
Absolutely, it was serving. What was it serving?
What do you think it was serving?
Fuck. Is this a serving cunt? Is this a serving cunt move?
It's very serving cunt.
Well, I
Good
did
job.
pick between cunt and brat.
Proud of you.
If you watch the podcast, you know.
If you know. It's fine.
But no, this was a great.
Yeah.
I loved Mariah stooped as low as she could. She slapped her own mother.
That was crazy. I still feel like that was really random.
That was random.
Like, because nothing else happened with her mom.
Her
mom, yeah.
Mom.
Like, nothing else happened with that, though.
No.
So I'm a little like, why?
I like that they utilized the shoe. I really like that.
Yeah.
I think that this is a top 5 AEW story of all time.
Yeah, probably.
In their company.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the thing everybody's been talking about 24/7.
Yeah. And Tony Khan has said that this is one of his favorite things that he's ever done.
Yeah, I didn't know he likes the old movies and stuff like that until this.
It doesn't surprise me. However,
I guess that's fair.
If I have one, this is the most nitpicky of nitpicky. You're gonna be
one of those.
No, I don't think it should have been on second.
Oh, okay.
It should have either started the show or been like close to the semi-main event.
I was surprised they were second.
Yeah.
I feel like AEW doesn't always follow the like standard rule though of like the best match is the main event and then the second one is starting.
Yeah.
I feel like they don't do that way.
Yeah, the second match is typically like in wrestling called the popcorn match because it's like the match that's not as
like exciting. It's the one no one cares about. Yeah.
Which is funny because this is probably the best story.
But I wonder if it's like if they kind of considered it to be first because the entrances for the first match were on 0 hour.
On 0 hour. That's
so
a good
I
point.
wonder if they were like. Just throw them out first to like do so the entrances can be on 0 hour, but then bring Tony and Mariah out next to kind of like fully start the show.
Maybe.
It's weird still, but that's the best.
There's time that you could have cut, and we'll talk about that match
right now. Actually,
was it the third match?
Hook beats Jericho.
I didn't realize it was the third match.
Yeah, we actually could have. Hook has nothing to do with you. We could have cut the whole thing.
Hook is great. No, what you could have done. I think that this is a huge issue with the Jericho matches because they're like,
they exist.
Yeah, one, but two, they're like, we're gonna make it longer than it should be.
Yeah.
And you could have had just the three. So Hook beats Jericho with the help of Taz.
Which was a really cool moment. I did like
amazing moment. You could have told this story in legitimately a minute or two. I don't think anyone would have been upset because the learning tree immediately attacks Hook. Like, Joe's not out there, Shibata's not out there. It just looked like Hook. Oh, you're done.
Which I do kind of want them. I want them to bring that trio back. They just kind of got rid of it.
Yeah, but Joe's working on like movies and stuff.
Okay, well, stop.
And then Shibata was in that Texas Avengers. It was the Texas Avengers and Shibata.
Yes.
But I think that they could have made this. Oh, they beat him up. What's going to happen to Hook? He's about to lose the match. You know, Jericho hits him with whatever his elbow thing is that I forget the name of already. And it looks like he's about to win. Hook kicks out. They start beating up on him again. Taz comes out. He says, screw this. Exactly what they do. He chokes out Brian Cage. I think he could have choked out Brian Cage and then just went over to Big Bill. Could have jumped on Big Bill's back because how tall he was. And this match could have been over in probably 2.5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was much longer.
No, I think it's just like, I don't know. It just like Jericho. I say it all the time. Jericho just seems to be like the next person that like Tony Khan won't say no to.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand the thought process.
Yeah. Correct result. Dope ass moment to see Hook and Taz. I love the press conference afterwards.
I was gonna say that.
Hook is the most laid back dude.
Like asking him who thought of like the whole Taz and him thing, and he was like, I was just trying to think of things to do, and that's what I thought of, and that was his answer.
My bad.
Like, what
I
do
should
you
have been
mean?
doing this the entire time.
Oh my god.
That's how Hook wrestles. Hook wrestles like SpongeBob when he goes to rob a bank. The real ones will get that.
Yeah, I don't get it. It was good though.
Yeah.
Next one, speaking of like we didn't really need it, the tag match.
Whoa. Okay, so gotta disagree with you there.
The FTR Young Bucks acclaimed?
Absolutely.
Okay, you're wrong.
So the Young Bucks end up winning this. One, I think that they missed the mark on having Caster turn.
I think that they missed the mark on FTR being in the match.
Wait, did I say FTR or Caster?
You said Caster.
I said Caster. Okay, cool.
I said FTR.
We didn't need to see FTR versus
Ever.
Young Bucks like again.
Or FTR ever.
And I don't think we said in the predictions we said before the podcast, the Acclaimed were cold.
Yeah.
They were not in Wembley.
No.
Wembley adored the Acclaimed.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Maybe
Wembley
they're
adored
not
the
on
Acclaimed.
Twitter
Probably
as much,
not, yeah.
but very weird.
They were still very, very high on them. I thought that the Caster turn should have happened. Maybe that happens at All Out. I'm still convinced Caster turns.
I'm worried they're not doing it. I'm a little worried they're not doing it.
I'm still convinced. I see the vision. Tony, you can't not see it.
Tony
But
also thinks the vision is Jericho. So
one of the things, I think there was two things that are going to change AEW forever. And I think that one of them happened here, which is after the match, the grizzled young vets. Can I please have my scarf? Thank you so much. The GYV, Liverpool's number one, Zach Gibson and James Drake come out to confront the Young Bucks, attack FTR, and are putting AEW tag team back on the map. AEW used to have the best tag team wrestling. I think the Trios title messed a lot of this stuff up, but the GYV are the best tag team in all of professional wrestling, and they will change the landscape of AEW. And whether
do
they
you
face
like
them?
them?
I would say that I think that they're good.
Right.
Yeah, I think that they're good.
So I guess for that it needed to be on, but like we could have had better people.
Or they could have just signed GYV
I just
earlier.
you just literally you can't convince me that FTR is entertaining or that Max Caster's not an asshole. You just can't. You can't there's nothing you can do. You just can't convince me.
Is this just sugar? I thought this was Sour Patch Kid.
I don't know.
That's just sugar. Oh my god.
That's disgusting.
Oh my god. Okay, so sorry.
Anyway, a new, I don't know if this is what you were saying was going to be the other thing that changes AEW forever, unless you're talking about Jack Perry, in which case, facts. Casino Gauntlet was next.
Oh, that was not what I was talking about.
I have up and down on this one. Happy for Ricochet, and I thought the match was good. Sad that Christian won. I'm really disappointed in that.
I'm not.
Winner.
I know a lot of people are.
I am.
I think it made total sense. I love the Ricochet debut. He got pyro. He got a crazy amount of pyro.
He got the most pyro of anybody.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And we got to see Hangman in there. I thought Hangman was winning. Obviously, he does not. Was there anyone else that was big in there? I'm sorry, but Jeff Jarrett got a massive pop because the internet now loves and just adores Jeff Jarrett.
I will not be part of that.
I don't exactly know when that happened.
I don't know what happened either.
But yeah, Christian winning. I think Christian's been the MVP of AEW for a while, or he's been one of.
He's been doing a lot of great stuff. I just was sorry. I just hit this.
Yeah.
I was just hoping to have someone new, Christian's had he's been involved with the TNT title so much. He's been involved with the trios titles now, and then he goes right into a shot for the world. I just go somewhere, do something else go find yourself somewhere else, as my best friend would say to her children. Go find yourself somewhere else. And that is what I need Christian to do. Phrase. That is what she said when they're bothering her and they're like, Mom, we want snacks, da, da, da. And she's like, no, and she'll say no twice, and then she turns around and she's like, go find yourself somewhere else.
That's hilarious.
It's great. But like that's what I need him to do. I need him to be away from the title. Like give somebody else time with with a title shot and stuff like that. Like I'm happy Darby has one, but even Darby's been in like really big matches. He's been in some title matches, not as much as Christian, but like just like Christian just felt like I was kind of like I just wanted someone new, something different.
Yeah. I love this. I love Christian. Shout out to my father. You know what I mean?
My God.
I was happy with this. I think that he makes sense to the story for Brian.
Yeah. I guess. Not really, but that's fine.
I'll cut it here for a second. Do you want to talk about Dynamite?
We can a little. What do you want
to I just didn't know if you were okay with me being like, he even makes sense for Jack Perry.
I guess that's fine.
I think he even makes sense for Jack Perry. If Jack ends up winning at All Out, which we'll talk about later. But if that were to happen, I think he makes sense against Jack Perry.
I'm going to need Christian to mind his fucking business.
That's all I'm saying.
With Jack Perry,
That's
okay? Mind your fucking business, you old ass man.
And,
stay in your lane.
And I liked it because the Young Bucks and him had that confrontation months ago where he said that they owed him something. I think it was the spot in the Casino Gauntlet.
I think it was annoying. I also didn't know this. Someone put it on Twitter. To be fair, I wasn't watching it this time. Mm-hmm. But apparently when Bryan Danielson returned or debuted or whatever in 2021, back at AEW, he returned helping Christian, Jack Perry, and Luchasaurus.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
And people were like, that's just another reason that this like kind of like comes full circle.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
And people are also saying that there's a really good chance that Danielson probably picked Jack Perry. Because I think Jack is slightly out of left field. Like, he is one of the, like, young up-and-coming guys that, like, Danielson was talking about, saying he wanted to wrestle. But Jack, obviously, already having the TNT title, I do think it's a little bit out of left field.
I agree.
But Bryan Danielson is a genius and an idiot. He's a genius because he loves Jack Perry, and he's an idiot because he's losing the title to Jack Perry. It's gonna be
that won't happen. What's the next match?
It's going to be great. Okay, anyway. The next match was my dream match of MJF and Will Ospreay. Now, listen, I know... Every time I say that, people are like, it only happened on Dynamite. It was an hour long. Did you not watch it? No, I know that, and I don't care, because guess what? It was still my all-in dream match, so we just pretend that didn't happen. And
though MJF keeps reiterating that match was 3 seconds long. It's weird. He said he beat him with no problem, and it was about 3 seconds.
Yeah, he, like many other men, have time issues. Anyway, I thought this was amazing. This was, like, it was giving everything that it was supposed to give.
Yeah.
Okay? It was serving.
Cunt. Brat.
Probably cunt.
Brat.
MJF's very brat. He's not
Let me tell you, I don't know whether it's cunt or brat, but Will Ospreay's attire for this, it was serving assassin. Because shout out to Assassin's Creed. Now I want to go play Assassin's Creed Black Flag again.
I think we have to buy the new one when it comes out, because that's the one that he's, like,
I'm down.
promoting.
I'm down. It's in Japan. You get to be like a samurai. I'm down.
I don't know. I just want to get it because he's part of it.
I like the Assassin's Creed games. They're hard for me though.
I've never played them.
Because I'm not like a gamer. But no, this was an awesome match. Hated MJF's attire. Hated everything about MJF's entrance. And this was good.
I'm hoping we're finally dropping the America bullshit.
I think we are. After Dynamite, I think
I can't like be in my happy place watching Dynamite and then like randomly like an RNC rally pops up. Like I can't be doing this.
I think that this was honestly, it was probably great. But I think that the expectations for Will Ospreay's matches are so high now.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that was a pretty amazing match. Yeah, like per usual.
It's like, another like 9 out of 10.
Right.
Like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that he has to go to that like Danielson level or that Swerve level or like the match that he had against Takeshita where I'm like, holy.
That was really good.
That was a great match. Also on Revolution.
Yeah. We could also talk about how any of our viewers, if you notice, we only have one microphone now. Do you want to talk about how that happened?
Yeah, so this is the second thing that I was talking about that was going to change AEW forever.
And our podcast temporarily. Go ahead.
And definitely our podcast. Daniel Garcia comes back to cost MJF.
Which actually, pause. Who called that? Who called that? Who said that was going to happen? Oh,
you called this months ago. You called it like exactly how it happened.
TK and I, right here, except for Jericho. I don't take credit for that.
This was great. Garcia comes back in the ski mask, takes it off. Massive ovation for Garcia. Got the shaved head now.
Yeah, shaved head means business in New York.
Exactly.
In New York.
And I also he looks a little bit like Mox. Maybe he joins Blackpool.
He
Combat
had
Club
that
sometime.
walk like through the ring
Yeah.
on Dynamite yesterday where he was like, and he's doing the,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah.
what in the John Moxley's happening right now?
Yeah. And I mean, on Dynamite, I think he gives the promo of his life. And he
It was the best segment he's ever been in.
Should try out for quarterback. He could be Josh Allen's backup.
That was.
Bro just chucked the mic.
It was
knocked MJF.
I posted on Threads. I was like, this is the most New York thing
Yeah.
I've ever seen in wrestling.
You know he grew up playing baseball or football.
Absolutely.
Like 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
If he didn't at least play baseball at some point in his life for a minimum of 3 years, I will be shocked.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
Now, this is, for those that don't know, I'm a Garcia guy. I'm a Garcia stan. This is my guy. So
the one time he uses the word stan.
I lost it. Yeah, I guess I'm not really a stan because I saw him and didn't say anything.
Well, we didn't want to be weird. It was awkward. It's a whole thing.
Well, stans would be okay with being weird.
That's fair.
But I lost it, broke the mic in celebration. It was
Almost
also
broke the couch.
It was also possibly broken at the Grizzled Young Vets. It was a great pay-per-view.
It started there and ended with Garcia.
But yeah, I think that the reason why I say that this is the second biggest moment that will change AEW is now it was confirmed that he's not signed yet.
Yeah.
And that his contract ends in October. However, it is a very good sign that he's there, and then now he's going to face MJF at All Out. I think that AEW is very bold to be putting this, because he is hot as hell. Pause. He is hot as hell right now.
My mom thinks that.
So if his contract ends, goes to NXT,
Yeah.
you know,
pop
it's
there.
almost like, oh fuck, we just made that guy for them.
I think that's why he's like willing to go along with the story and like pop in and
Easily,
pop out and like he's like, I'll do, you know, a few appearances, get me my money and my contract, because he knows that he's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And it's like it's gonna get down to the point where it's gonna be like, if you want me, pay for me, because if you don't, someone else will.
Yeah. And I think that AEW, as much amazing talent as they have, they need to start pushing the young dudes.
Yes, which they are with Jack Perry, as they should.
Right. Jack Perry, perfect example. Darby Allin, still in that younger stage. Daniel Garcia. It's probably going to be people that they put on the show on Dynamite, like Isaiah Cassidy. It's these people.
That was crazy.
Obviously, Takeshita.
Yeah.
I hope one day Sammy Guevara. I'll still live in that dream, even though probably NXT bound.
I was gonna say we'll see you in NXT.
But I think that that's the next stage for AEW. And this gives me a big, big sign that they are going to do that.
Yeah.
If he beats Max, we could see Garcia be the one that retires Danielson. I mean, he is the Dragon Tamer.
It would be kind of cool if they ran that back at some point and redid that match.
I'm saying.
That would be cool. And hopefully I won't be front row and have a barricade slammed to my foot.
I don't know where World's End is.
No. I don't think we know yet.
But if we have it in New York.
That would be crazy.
If we have it in New York,
that
which
would
I
be
doubt
insane.
because I think Grand Slam's at Arthur Ashe. But
I think so.
If we have it in New York,
yeah.
Garcia's got to retire him. If Danielson doesn't lose that Wrestle Dream, it's Garcia. I'm convinced.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. I'll make a TikTok about
I think it's a good pick.
Yeah.
The next one.
It was a match.
Was a rough time for many reasons.
It was a match.
Mercedes Britt. Listen, I had a good time. Okay,
I thought it was
I
fun.
had a good time. I liked it. Those are my girls. I was excited. Everybody hates it. Everybody is like Tonga Loa better, which is fucking. I know we're dramatic, but like, please calm down.
I think that the internet really overreacted to this match. I will still say I really love that spot where Mercedes is on the second rope and she goes for the power slam. Britt reverses into a scoop slam. Dope ass spot there. But it did feel a little awkward.
It felt a little like maybe Britt was not ready for like how much stamina or like how much that match was going to take out of her as her first like big one back. But also like it's just the hate online is insane because like there were I literally saw like a thread on Instagram or on Twitter that was like she literally had a stroke and was out for like almost a year, and someone was like, I've had a stroke, she should be fine.
Yeah.
Bitch, what do you mean? First of all, don't feel like a stroke should be that casual. I don't feel like we should just be like, yeah, it's fine. I had one. I'm alive. Like, great, you're alive. So happy for you. But like, also, the fuck.
Yeah.
So just very, very, very weird amount of hate. But I also think that like
I'm going to imagine the person that commented that isn't a professional wrestler. You know what I mean?
But I think it's hard enough being in AEW because
Yeah.
you get attacked so much. Being a
Yeah.
woman in AEW and wrestling, oh my fucking god, just stay off social media.
Yeah.
Like they like these people just sit there like chomping at the bit, waiting for something, and unfortunately, this match gave them something. I still like. I don't think it was nearly as bad as
fine.
people were saying.
It
Like,
was
it wasn't
fine.
amazing. I wasn't, like, in love with it.
Yeah.
But, like, it was not as bad as people were saying.
I got a ton of hate on my TikTok, and now I've started to get comments back that are people going, "You guys are overreacting. It's fine." It was a fine match.
Right.
Like, it wasn't anything special.
No.
It wasn't probably what people thought it was going to be.
It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Like, I was like, this is my woman's dream match in AEW.
Yeah.
It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But I do think the next one will be. I'm not
holding out. But
I am not worried about it.
the issue that I think with this match, or not even just the perception, is the issue, I think, because Britt had the issue with MJF backstage.
Yeah.
That we all heard about. Whether that got blown out of proportion or not, who knows? But it seemed like
MJF made it sound like it did.
MJF
said
made
it
it seem
did.
like, hey, this was a disagreement. We argued backstage. That happens in every workplace. And if
Right.
that's all that is, yeah, that happens everywhere.
Y'all should hear some of the things to say about my coworkers.
I don't have any more coworkers, really. So, but then there was also the Sean Ross Sapp talking about Jamie and Britt maybe not getting along personally, and that may have also been the reason why Jamie popped up on 0 Hour instead of in this match, because I think that we all thought that was going to happen. So I think that those, and then the match being, you know, what people would describe as Jimmy and Jay level, which I don't agree with whatsoever.
That's crazy.
But with all of that, I think it just really looks bad for Britt.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
just
she needs
it's a
something.
storm of a bunch
Yes,
of shit
exactly.
right now.
She needs something that just wows people now
Yeah.
to get that off of her. I
Which
will
sucks
say,
because like she's been doing amazing promos,
she has been killing
and
it
that's
in the promos.
it's but no one gives a shit.
Yeah. I will say, very awkward ending to this match. You have Camille get
I was
kicked
a little
out.
confused.
You have Camille get kicked out. So I was like, damn, maybe Britt's winning.
Yeah.
Because, you know, is somebody else going to join Mercedes? Because she has a faction, but it's just her and Camille at the moment.
Right.
So I thought maybe something's going to happen there. And we're all talking about it in chat. And then maybe Jamie comes back and she helps out Britt. Maybe Jamie's pops back in and she attacks Britt. Like,
Yeah.
who knows what happens here? And it's just a weird ending where Mercedes just wins off
Clean.
of... I can't remember what her new finisher is called, but I have heard a lot of people being like, wish she'd go back to the bank statement, and I do kind of agree with that.
Something money.
Yeah, it's like
Money
money
in the it's not money in the bank. but
money
it's
maker, something like that. Yeah.
I was surprised. I'm actually a little bit of a mix. I was surprised by it, but as I thought about it, I was like, in a way, I'm not in love with it, but in a way, I'm okay with it. Because I'm like, I want them to make Mercedes a strong champion.
Yeah.
I want her to be able to win clean on her own. I know that's not really the angle they've been going with,
Yeah.
with Camille being involved, but I think they were trying to do both at once, which I don't know if that fully works, but I like the idea of it.
I would agree with that if it wasn't someone like Britt at all in.
Yeah.
Like, if this was her going up against Harley Cameron, she can beat Harley Cameron. You know, like,
Yeah.
shout out Harley Cameron, but, like, she could beat her. She could beat plenty of people, and it kind of goes up to a level of, oh, this is Britt Baker, is all in.
Yeah.
I have Camille. I kind of got to use it.
Right.
I do like that Britt used the Eddie Guerrero spot on Mercedes,
Yeah.
which was a nice little touch.
Yeah.
And
And then Mercedes did the Three Amigos on her.
right.
Yeah.
Which I think that Mercedes should implement a little bit more of the Eddie. She should do that in
Yes,
these matches.
yeah.
But I also think that it's kind of hard because now I think that maybe also seems as like a babyface funny thing to do because Eddie made
Yeah.
it kind of babyface.
Right.
But yeah, I think that
Yeah.
this match was fine. It's way overblown proportion that it was a terrible, horrendous match that no one should, their eyes will bleed when they watch it.
So dramatic.
But it was fine. It was just definitely underwhelming and awkward.
I still hope they continue with this feud. I'm pretty okay with Jamie not getting involved. I don't think I want Jamie Britt just yet. I want them to like kind of do their own thing and come back to that later. Like I guess I want like Mercedes and Britt to like get the love and the time that it deserves.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also want Britt and Jamie to get the love and the time that it deserves. And I want those to be separate because I worry if you put them together, one or both won't get that.
Yeah.
I worry it like cuts one of them off, and I don't want to do that.
I do think it's going to be rough because I think Britt's going to have to turn soon.
She will before the Jamie thing, so we have to figure that out because Jamie's gonna get cheered. Oh, here it goes.
What if
It's coming.
What
live,
if
live right on video?
Yeah. What if Mercedes beat Britt clean for a reason?
Okay. What is the reason?
Because it proved to Britt that she's not the same anymore. After everything that she's went through, she's not the same anymore.
Oh my God, they used the "oh my God, she sucks now" angle in the story.
Not even that. Just Britt just kind of having to have a, face to face. I'm not champion anymore. I'm not. I've been overtaken.
Yeah.
So if you can't beat them,
join them.
Join them, and it's her, Camille, and Britt as a power faction in AEW.
I'm intrigued by that. I feel like that would be hard to pull off with Britt's current character that we've seen.
I think it would have to be a character shift.
It would be, but it would be hard to pull off with like everything we've seen with Britt. She always leads. She's always the top bitch. She has no self-confidence issues. So it would be hard to get her to kind of submit to Mercedes. But I'm open to it. I'm interested.
And then maybe
I'm thinking either that or it's like Britt has to kind of go and like rebuild herself.
Yeah.
A little bit. I would kind of enjoy that storyline too.
That could be a good story as well.
And because a big thing AEW likes to do now is like kind of use what people say online.
Yeah.
And make it into the story.
Yeah.
Hashtag REVPs.
Right.
At this point. So it would be kind of cool if they took that and they were like, okay, like let's go that route with it.
Yeah.
Like use it to our advantage.
Garcia kind of had that story a little bit last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that if you did that though, you could do Julia Hart as the baby face. You could have her start recruiting people. Maybe
she really psyched us out though.
Yeah, with going.
She posted the fucking airplane the day before Wembley and then didn't show up.
Yeah.
We were like, bitch.
Maybe it'd be like Julia Hart, say Thunder Rosa joins the group.
Maybe.
Just more. She just goes more into like the Day of the Dead character. I think could be really cool. They obviously wait for Sky to come back at some point, but Sky seems to be out for a while.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
They recruit somebody else into that group, or maybe pick up a free agent and put them in that group. Ty.
They pick up an enforcer.
Ty
Mello.
Yes.
Who will cut you up with a barbed wire bat.
Or it could also be like, oh, I have, because, Thunder will always be down to go against Britt. Julia goes against Mercedes, and they're like, we don't have another one to help us. And that's when Willow steps in, and she's like, I can go after Camille.
Okay.
Because Willow wanted to get back at Mercedes.
Right.
And so that it's almost like they all have a reason to be in the group. Right. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're all together. Right. But they all have a reason. They all have common enemies.
Yeah.
That could
the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Right.
Okay. I'm open to that. Speaking of friends, two of my friends faced each other. Mm-hmm. Jack Perry, Darby Allin.
Yes.
I was very much a mix of excitement and anxiety at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little peeved.
That
so here we clip it back to where I said me and TK, we right fucking here, because right now we're not fucking here. He cut time on this match and left Jericho's ass on the card. TK, Anthony, we cannot be doing this. However, shout out to my two kings, Jack and Darby, because they still had a killer match. It was so good. It absolutely hit my expectations. I loved it.
Yeah, the story of the match was Sting.
All you ever care about is Sting.
All I ever care about is the GOAT, the icon.
It's exhausting.
This was a really good match. I love Darby coming out with the thumbtacks.
That scares me. I don't like it. It scares me.
On his face.
It freaks me out.
So, the moment Jack punches him, you're getting thumbtacks.
Yeah.
That sucks for you.
Yeah.
And that was a phenomenal way to do that. And he had thumbtacks probably on his face still about halfway through the match.
Yeah, I don't think they fell off till like a little over halfway.
So that had to suck for Jack.
Yeah.
But this was a very good match. Very good, hardcore, insane match.
It's kind of crazy how much Jack has kind of come up to meet Darby.
Yeah.
In
the craziness.
In the crazy stunts category.
Darby's still labeled as the crazy guy, but Sammy will jump off some pretty wild shit. And Jack is ready to set himself on fire.
Multiple times, apparently.
It's crazy the level that these guys will go to.
Yeah.
My personal favorite spot in this entire match outside of Sting was him hooking Darby's feet with a belt, him tied it up, and then mocking Darby and going, because Darby couldn't move, was my favorite thing. He is very he's very good with his limited comedy spots.
Yeah, he is. He picks his moments really well.
Yeah, he does. He does. This was a very good match.
It was a very good match. The reaction, we talked about this earlier. You love Jack Perry or you hate Jack Perry.
There's no in between.
And if you hate Jack Perry, it's either you don't watch AEW or you love CM Punk.
Yeah.
Like, when I genuinely, like, when I look at, like, people, because I, of course, get those comments.
Yeah,
and I see it on Twitter sometimes. Like, I'll click on the profile because I'm like, I'm going to come back at you. Let me see if, like, your hairline's receding. And it normally is. So, like, I look at it. And it's almost always either they don't like or don't watch AEW.
I think that's typically the
or
most.
They hate CM Punk. Or they love CM Punk. And I'm like, crazy. Also, insane that CM Punk fans still care so much.
Yeah.
It's literally insane.
They just care that they just want him to be completely unsuccessful.
Yeah. It's crazy to me because it's now literally been a year.
Yeah.
We can move on. I know CM Punk likes to talk about it in like one interview question per 3 months, but like we can all move on.
Yeah.
I think at this point.
I think the thing I've always thought about it, and this was my thought process on it when the whole glass thing happened between Jack and
Which
Punk.
Also, let me be motherfucking clear. The glass spots was always Jack's thing.
Yeah.
It's not Punk. I don't even know if Punk ever gave a fuck.
Maybe.
It wasn't, because it was like, the whole thing was like, Punk told Jack, like, you can't do that spot with the rear glass.
Yeah.
But, like, whoever it was, TK or somebody, told Punk, because Punk was the one in person.
Yeah.
And, like, running Collision or whatever.
Yeah,
go tell.
I think it was Shivani.
Maybe. But, like, who even knows if Punk even gave a shit about the fucking glass? Like, this was Punk never gave a shit about the glass. He was doing what he was told to do, for once. And, like, just telling him, like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Punk never gave a shit about the glass. It has nothing to do with him.
One thing Punk had said was, he was like, you're not going to do it on, like, Collision. He was just like, if you want to do it on Dynamite, because Punk was running Collision, you know?
Yeah. Like a tyrant.
But, you know, he didn't want, I don't think that he cared whether he did that on Dynamite.
It wasn't, like, his thing, though. Right. You know what I mean?
But,
like,
what I was going to say is that in this whole Pud glass thing was, like, you blur reality, and you utilize that for a storyline.
Yeah.
That's what Punk did his entire career.
Yeah.
He broke the fourth wall 1,000,000 times.
Isn't that why all you people used to love him?
100%. And I love that Jack did it.
Let's talk about the straight edge feud with Jeff Hardy. You want to talk about
100%.
breaking the fourth wall?
Everything he did with Triple H was everything he did with John Cena, everything he did with The Rock, like everything he did up against Vince, like it was all breaking the fourth wall. The shit he did with Raven back in ROH, Samoa Joe, they were breaking the fourth wall all the time and utilizing reality to be like, oh, is he actually really mad at him?
Right.
Jack does it. And that's what I thought was totally fine, but it was just kind of like a, wow, you wouldn't like your younger self, which always disappointed me. But I love that Jack went back to the glass spot because the fans erupted. 50,000 people singing Cry Me a River.
Yeah.
Was
also
so
a great
good.
song. Also a great song.
So it's a great song.
I need Jack to come out at All Out to Cry Me a River by Justin Timberlake.
It would be great.
It'd be so iconic.
I would really love that.
Punk fans would implode, but like most of you don't watch AEW anymore anyway because he left. So like just don't watch. It'll be fine.
It would be very fun.
Just skip it.
I think
it'll be funny for us.
Because
also Cry Me a River is not Punk's thing either.
No, but Justin Timberlake might need it after his arrest. So.
Oh yeah, it's gonna ruin the world tour.
Yeah. But this was great. Jack Perry ends up winning. Puts Darby in a body bag. Had
anxiety.
Cuffed him with the belt.
I had anxiety.
And then the Young Bucks come out to celebrate and to pour gasoline on Darby as they're going to set Darby on fire.
That gave me anxiety.
In the coffin.
I was very afraid.
And in that moment, you knew what was happening. Lights go out. It's Sting. Sting comes
Johnny
out.
pops again with no more mics to break.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I freak out. I mean, I got Grizzled Young Vets, Daniel Garcia, and Sting. I technically still got Sammy. If Mustafa Ali would have came out in the gauntlet, it would have been the greatest.
That was the only piece
for me.
really missing.
It really was.
That's crazy.
It was the one piece.
Yeah. Oh god.
Shout out Luffy. Shout out Zoro.
Right.
Shout out Brooke. Shout out Laboon.
Okay. All right, we get it. Yeah.
But yeah, so Sting coming out, great moment, and I love that they still gave Jack the win first.
Yeah.
It still made sense to the story.
Yeah.
I have no idea what Darby is about to be doing with Mox now.
No,
that is
weird.
so interesting.
That's a weird one.
But this was I think probably when I look back on it, a really underrated match that I don't think that everyone left talking about like.
I think because it wasn't as long.
Yeah.
They cut it. They cut like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think that if this would have went 20 more and they would have really done some like crazy in-ring spots, this may have been like up there as the match of the night.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm happy Jack won, and I'm super excited for where they both go next. Honestly.
Well, we know where Jack's going. He's going to the AEW World Championship.
He's gonna win the title, so he's gonna be double champ.
He'll be double champ. Yeah.
Also, can I just side note real quick? I'm gonna break the fourth wall. If one more motherfucking person says he's trying to be Roman Reigns because he's holding 2 titles like this, get a fucking life. Roman Reigns does not own the pose, and he is not the only person to ever hold 2 titles. Get a fucking grip, you fucking losers.
He's probably not like
my God
the thousandths.
There's so many thousand. He is like there's so many people who have done both of those. And by the way, him holding the 2 belts like this is the pose he's always done. Just holding titles now.
Yeah.
He has done this thing. That's why we all call him Jesus Jack.
Yeah. That's it.
Jack Jesus, whatever works.
Jack Christ, I think, would be better.
People use that too.
Yeah. Or just call him our Lord and Savior.
But anyway, so if you say that to me one more time, you're getting blocked, and I'm going to tell your mother that you're a piece of shit. So anyway, getting to the final match.
God damn, is that it? That was the whole card?
We slayed through this shit, bro. Swerve Danielson featuring Brie Bella.
Yes.
Queen.
Featuring Brie Bella.
Yes.
Featuring Birdie Danielson. Featuring Buddy Danielson. All of Danielson's kids as Swerve Strickland was trying to traumatize them.
Yes. Yeah.
By kicking their dad in the head.
I did see something cute, though, because someone was like, after Swerve was like yelling, and like Birdie was like, Mom! And she went running. And so did Buddy. Nana came over and was like,
yeah.
And then Birdie was like,
which I think that was a 50-50 chance of that making it better because it's funny, or that terrifying them more.
If I was a child, it would have terrified me more. I would have been like, what's wrong with him?
Yeah.
But, teach their own, I guess.
This was a great match.
This was a really
This
good
was match of the night, in my opinion. Beautiful storytelling in this match as well. Yeah. One of the best spots here is Swerve doing the yes kicks to Danielson, and Danielson looking over at his family and saying, I love you.
Yeah.
So it was very much
they had great camera angles.
They did phenomenal
did
setting all of this up.
Yeah.
The storytelling is so good in this match. There's real moments where you think that Swerve is winning.
Yeah, there was a couple times where I knew deep down, I was like, Danielson has to win. There's just no way. But there's a couple moments where you like catch your breath a little and you're like...
I wish I didn't think that Danielson was winning as much as I did, because most of the internet, at least from the people that I talked to, really thought that this was 50-50, if not leaning a little bit more towards Swerve.
I saw that too.
So, like, I wish I was in that mode of being like, no, Swerve's going to win, and then being so shocked that Danielson won.
It's entertaining that way, yeah.
But, yeah, this was great. The stomp and Danielson getting up from that. Danielson kicking out of...
The house call.
Quite literally, the house call that he hits like 3 times.
Yeah.
This was a perfect setup. I think it's right up there with Danielson's moment at WrestleMania 30. Yeah. I think some people...
Careful.
I think some people will argue that it's better. I do think that this was by far a better match. And then there's a lot of people that say that this is a better moment too, because I think it's more... It's
with his family and his kids. And
I think it's more... of the moment Danielson won it. And he said it as much in the press conference that he said that this was his favorite match that he's done.
His favorite moment of his career.
Yeah, favorite moment of his career. Yeah. And Swerve, in the same way of Tony Storm, you got to give him his flowers. In only 4 months, we were talking about this on the pod yesterday. I was like, he might have like the, outside of Kenny, I'm like, he might have the second best, third best title reign of all time for AEW. And I'm like, he only had the title 4 months.
Yeah. No, he had a really strong reign, and I think a lot of people have become more invested in him. I know I am more interested in him now after this whole title reign that he's had, because before I didn't really care for him too much, and Nana pissed me off. He still pisses me off, though. But I have to say, I think with the title reign that he had, the match, and just the way everything went, Swerve lost, but he didn't take an L.
No, not
this. If anything, that loss elevated him in a really weird way. It's very rare that happens, but I think in a lot of ways it elevated him even further. Because there's no better way to lose a title.
No, there's no better way to lose a title. Swerve, from the moment his stock, I guess, from winning the championship to now losing the championship with Danielson has went up so much more. And, like, he was a massive star when he won the title.
Yeah.
And he has only went up. He became better as champion. Yeah. He elevated the title as champion. And then he lost. He elevates. And now he goes on to face Hangman again, which is probably going to be feud of the year.
I mean, he had such a strong title reign that there were people like, but Danielson could lose.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I personally wanted Swerve versus Hangman as the main event because I thought it was the better story. And now I can't be mad at what the outcome was because it was a beautiful outcome.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited now for All Out, for Swerve and Hangman.
All Out is going to be, it's shaping up to be really good. We already have Swerve, Hangman. We have Jack Danielson.
MJF Garcia.
MJF Garcia is going to be crazy.
Ospreay Pac.
Yeah. It's already building up to be crazy.
We'll probably get Mariah and Tony. We'll probably get, are we going to get Mercedes Britt? We may be getting Saraya Jamie.
Right.
This is
a lot. A lot. It might be, if we keep Jericho off the card, it might be better than All In.
I think that Jericho.
They're going to find a way to get him on the card.
No, I think that Jericho. Yes, I actually think it's going to be Hook versus Roddy.
God, that's so awful.
And then it's probably going to be the Learning Tree, on maybe a 0 hour Learning Tree versus the Conglomeration.
I could deal with Jericho on the I was going to say on the Learning Tree, on the 0 hour. Yeah. I could tolerate that as a compromise. Tony.
But I think that the issue for a lot of people is going to be they're going to see Saraya as the Jericho replacement.
Yeah, it's going to be a little rough. So we'll see. I mean, there's also the possibility, though, if she's going up against Jamie Hayter, that Jamie could elevate her and help her have a better match a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Will Ospreay did it for Jericho.
Jamie's awesome. Jamie is one of the best women's
She has no personality and no gimmick.
She's
but
awesome.
Outside of that, she's great.
rings.
She's Becky Lynch 2.0, right? So
she's not.
She has red hair. And she's female.
That's it. Yeah.
So she has an accent.
I saw something today that showed that they both wear knee pads. And they were like, they both wear knee pads.
I saw that. So overall rating, what are you giving All In? Give me a number out of 10.
I don't know why I can't give it like the 10 out of 10. I feel like it's like a 9. I think I'm really high on like a 9, or maybe even go up to like a 9. 9.3 is where I'm going at.
I think I'm about there too. I would say I was gonna say 9.5.
Yeah.
Because I do like 0 or 0.5.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say 9.5. My downers here were the Jericho match and Christian winning.
I think my only downer was no Mustafa. And that's just for every show.
Right.
That's just for every show going forward. So WWE, you really got to sign him back. Because you're never having
I don't think he wants
to
be there.
He doesn't, but that's what you get for releasing them. You'll never have a 10 out of 10 show now.
Right.
And there wasn't, for me, there wasn't a match of the year. And that's a really, really high bar to be. Like, you have to have, like, match of the year contender. But I think that I just enjoyed Revolution and Dynasty a little bit more. Even though that Danielson moment it's really hard to beat, man.
Yeah.
This was really, really good. I do think that they maybe should have changed the Tony Mariah match. That's it.
Just moved it.
Yeah, just moved it. Nothing about the match should have changed.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think it was really good. I had a great time. I think All Out has the potential to be even better, so I'm super excited.
Yeah.
But we will see how that goes. And then we have Bash this weekend.
Yes.
And then we have All Out next weekend.
Yes.
So there's a lot coming.
There's a lot of wrestling.
A lot of things coming. So, thank y'all for watching. Go stan our scapegoat, our king, Jack Perry. And that's all.
When you hear the Grizzled Young Vets coming,
you can't just let me finish on my note.
Grit your teeth.
Okay.